It's been a long time since I've last played Dark and Darker, and honestly, coming back to it feels weird. You never really think about it in the moment, but sometimes the random people you meet in the game end up becoming long-term friends. What exactly is long-term friends? I mean, someone we make fun of each other and joke around and play on an average day. Looking back at it now, I didn't just realize how much Dark and Darker actually impacted me. I never expected to make a real, lasting friendship just because I randomly downloaded a playtest. I still remember one of the earlier playtests, right? Meaning someone I still talk to and play with today. That was like 3 years ago. Back then, everything felt simple. The first map I ever played was the Forgotten Castle. We didn't care about strategy, we just ran at people for PvP. That's just how it was. But I didn't realize at the time, this was a random match. It was the start of something way bigger. Before I get into the story, here are the main people involved. Muted One, Canadian, Frog, Sun, and Country, who joins later. Just so you know, the story's still missing one person who comes up later down the line. The ones who come back to Dark and Darker or try it for the first time were Frog, Muted One, Country, me, and Sun. So the first friend I met was Sun. Eventually, brought another friend, right? Someone called Frog. Funny enough, Sun ended up leaving almost immediately after, like, he basically arranged the two of us to play together for the first meeting. It was fucking funny, right? Just leaving us with some, like, you literally added me to a call and then immediately left. And then we ended up just playing Dark and Dark. We ended up playing for hours. Like it always does, the conversation shifted. We ended up talking about other games we played. At the time, I was playing Dark and Darker. And Minecraft, Rust, Apex Legends. My memory's a little bit fuzzy on the exact details, right? But I do remember one thing very clearly. We all had an interest in Rust. Now, if you've ever played Rust before, you already know. It's not a game built on trust, but people will betray and steal your right? And steal your stuff. Destroy everything you built. So when we started playing together, I didn't fully trust this guy. I had to test him, because we already had a base in the snow. We already had items. I made him sit in the airlock. If you don't know what that is, basically it's just a small entry room, right? Before the main base. So essentially like 2 doors. I'll have it up on the screen, what it looked like basically, right? The cold kills you in that biome very fast. Especially during the nighttime. So I left him there, with limited access, basically in controlled situations if he messed anything. And he passed, right? Because there was things called guest codes, and he could open the doors, close them, essentially get in and out of the front area without being anywhere like important, right? After that, things started to grow. Over time, we met more people. Some stayed, some didn't. 2 of the friends we met along the way were the Muted One and Canadian. Before that, though, me and Frog were actually hostile towards them at first. We didn't trust them at all, but somehow that turned into us joining them, building alongside them, and eventually becoming friends. There was a period of time where we had this small village set up when we originally met them. Everyone had their own base, we were all working together. I remember the one night very clearly. Me and one of the guys, right? Well, it wasn't just one of the guys, it was Canadian. We stayed up late trying to get the oil rig on a submarine. We had someone driving it, while the 2 of us were on top. We thought it was a fucking hilarious idea. First, it was like, I think it was the first week with the subs, but maybe the second. Me and one of the guys stayed up for that. We ended up getting shot off. We didn't succeed, but it didn't matter. Those moments stuck in my head, right? Eventually, we all ended up in Discord together, right? The 5 of us. Not always online at the same time, but consistently playing across the wipes. Eventually, over more wipes, Canadian brought someone new from a UKN server. Let's call him Country. At first, I was hesitant, but he ended up being one of the people I've spent the most time with because we shared so many common interests in games and had the most free time. For context, Rust wipes happen every week, Thursday to Thursday, so every week you start over. That cycle kind of forces us to keep coming back and keep playing together. I think we all have way over like 3,000 hours together. I have at least 3K. I know they have a bunch of hours too. Just to give some context on how much time we truly put into this game. A lot of us, most of those hours, were together. Now you might be thinking, isn't it supposed to be about Dark and Darker? And yeah, it is. Because here's the thing, during the playtest there wasn't a ton of content. We were doing the same thing over and over. So naturally we branched out into other games. And I don't even know if Rust was the first one we moved to. Me and Sun and Frog. But I do know this. Without Dark and Darker, none of this would happen. Not the friendships, not the memories, not the countless hours of other games. Even dumb ones like that. Random, like the one we just recently played with the Berglund Gnomes. But even with all that, the memories are still there. Learning how to fight Cyclops. Fighting Cave Troll. Dying in the dumbest ways possible. Like the time I was playing Warlock, right? I was casting Hellfire at the Cave Troll. My buddies were above me just waiting because they can't do it, right? So I was like, literally, it was like my third or fourth time doing it. And my teammate was AFK. The spell went through the ground and killed him with Hellfire. I don't know if you guys ever had this happen in Dark Darker. It's pretty common to actually kill your teammates, right? Well, there's even times where we accidentally killed each other mid-fight, arguing over loot, messing up runs. And then there was moments doing the Wyvern for the first time. Some of us would just fall off and die in the dumbest ways, like missing a simple jump, while everyone is screaming, trying to stay alive as we're being chased by a horde of skeletons because someone pulled way too many. Or dying to skeletons on the way there, or even jumping into the void or too early before the gate opens. For as I know, if you're probably watching this Dark and Darken video, you do know that when you jump to get onto the ice map where the Wyvern's at, there's like a little timer. You wait till a certain amount of time. The ground is like a void area. You just jump down. The light, like it's a little redder, the hole. And you jump down, it takes you to the next level. Really funny. Gaming has honestly been a huge part of my life. Probably too much, if I'm being honest. But it's also taught me things. How to trust is earned, how to work with people, how to deal with different personalities. And something I didn't expect was meeting people from completely different places, different ages, different states, different countries, and realizing we're not that different. We all have our own lives, but we share these moments together. So yeah, here I am again. Coming back to Dark and Dark, hoping it still has that same feeling, and maybe this is just the start of another chapter. If you made it this far, thanks for listening. Let me know if you've ever had a game that changed your life like this. If you've seen my old videos, they're pretty much different than this, right? And honestly, I hope you watch them. They're a little bit weird, a little bit funny, and some of the people I talked to about today in this video are in those videos. Slightly different names, and we'll see if you guys can figure out who they are. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys come back next time. Bye-bye.